6, sección 5. Habla de historia, 2 de 6.
We say at last when we waited a long time for an event.
Nosotros dijimos al menos cuando ella esperó un largo tiempo por un evento y esto finalmente tomó lugar. Por fin, at least. Por fin, at least también es al menos.
At last.
At last. At
My
least.
parents met at the beginning of the 70s, and they moved to New York in 1973.
Mis padres se conocieron a los inicios de los 70s y ellos se trasladaron a Nueva York en 1973, los años 70. Abuela ha tenido al sofá desde que los 70, así que ya no está muy... Así que no es nada.
Where did you live in the 70s?
Where did you live in the 70s?
If you recognize someone, they are familiar because you have seen them before.
Reconocer.
I'd always dreamed about living in New York.
Siempre me gusta dormir acerca. Siempre había soñado con vivir en Nueva York. Yo siempre quería una casa, pero en el mar. Siempre quería una casa por el mar. Así que yo al final me compré una.
When?
Cuando yo tuve suficiente dinero.
Before I moved to Australia, I'd always dreamed about living there.
Antes de que yo me trasladara a Australia, yo siempre soñaba vivir allí. ¿Por qué tú, abuela, antes de trasladar a Australia? Cuando tú te trasladaste a Australia, abuela. Antes de que te trasladara a Australia, yo siempre soñaba vivir allí. Cuando tú te trasladaste, abuela, ¿por qué tú no te...
You'd picked me up at the airport, and we rented a car.
Yo
Picked.
han recogido en el aeropuerto y nosotros alquilamos un coche. Me había recogido en el...
You'd packed everything into that tiny green car.
You'd packed everything into that teeny green car, remember?
Before you were 30, you'd never left the family farm, right?
Antes de que tengas 30, tú nunca le dejaste a la familia. Right. Antes de que tú tenías 30, tú nunca dejaste que la familia...
Farm.
¿Verdad? Entonces yo no había estado en ningún...
I could hardly recognize you with that haircut.
I could hardly...
I could hardly recognize you with that haircut.
Recognize...
I could hardly recognize you with that haircut.
You
Haircut.
recognize you with... Ocupado.
Busy.
Por fin.
At last.
About.
Carne.
Beef.
Padres.
Parent.
He recognized her from across the room.
¿Lo puedes abrir? Por favor.
He recognized her from across the room.
He recognized
Across. He recognized her from across the room.
There, from.
From. Across. He recognized her from across the room. He recognized her from across the room. Hour. Across. He recognized her from across the room. He recognized her from across the room. From. Across. Room.
Después desde que atravesamos su cuarto. Quiere conocer it from across the room.
I could hardly recognize you with that haircut.
I could recognize.
I could hardly recognize you with that haircut.
Could.
Recognize. Recognize.
With you.
You. That. Haircut. I could hardly recognize you with that haircut.
You with.
He recognized her from across the room.
He
recognized her from across the room. I could hardly recognize you with that haircut. I could hardly recognize you with that haircut.